The art of jazz.
Jazz. Pfft. They just make it up as they go along. I could do that.
That's Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Okay, then this.
That's the same thing. You just replace these with do's.
Oh!
Jazz is an art form that epitomizes creativity and spontaneity, allowing individual musicians to invent new musical ideas within a collective context, resulting in performances that are both innovative and cohesive. This exploration delves into the rich history of jazz, its prominent figures, and the unique elements that make it a continually evolving genre.
I'm just afraid that if I died today, that my life would have amounted to nothing.
So, what do you think you'll do? How are you going to spend your life?
I'm not sure, but I do know I'm gonna live every minute of it.
Jazz emerged in New Orleans, a cultural melting pot where African rhythms, European classical traditions, and the blues converged.
And I love you, avenging.
If I can mince, you can dance.
The fusion created a new electrifying genre of music. Louis Armstrong, also known as Satchmo, was one of the most influential figures in early jazz.
I see skies of blue, clouds of white, bright blessed days, dark sacred nights, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
His innovative approach to improvisation and charismatic performance style set the stage for the future of jazz. Armstrong could transform a simple melody into a complex, emotive musical statement, making his impact on jazz immeasurable. In the 1930s and 1940s, jazz evolved into the swing era, characterized by large ensembles known as big bands that played highly arranged music designed for dancing. Swing music dominated American culture during this time, with band leads like Duke Ellington, Count Basie, and Benny Goodman becoming household names. Count Basie was a pivotal figure in the swing era. Known for his precise swinging rhythms and sophisticated arrangements, Basie's orchestra was a well-oiled machine that could get any audience dancing. His band's tight-knit sound and impeccable timing were achieved through rigorous rehearsals and a deep understanding of each musician's strengths. In the 1940s, a new style of jazz called bebop emerged. It was faster, more complex, and focused on improvisation.
One, two, one. So you do that, I'll tell you when to come in with that. 1, 2, start. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now.
pioneered by musicians like Charlie Parker, Dizzy Gillespie, and Thelonious Monk. Bebop featured rapid chord changes, intricate melodies, and virtuosic solos. Charlie Parker, also known as Bird, was one of the most influential bebop musicians. His lightning-fast saxophone playing and innovative harmonic ideas pushed the boundaries of jazz. Parker's recordings such as Ornithology and Coco are still studied by jazz musicians today for their technical brilliance and creativity. The 1950s and 1960s saw the rise of cool jazz and hard bop. Cool jazz, associated with artists Miles Davis and Dave Brubeck, featured relaxed tempos and sophisticated arrangements. Hard bop, on the other hand, was a return to the roots of jazz, incorporating elements of blues and gospel music. Miles Davis was a chameleon-like figure in jazz, constantly evolving and pushing the genre forward. His album, Kind of Blue, is one of the best-selling jazz records of all time and is considered a masterpiece of cool jazz. Davis's ability to ensemble talented musicians and explore new musical directions made him a pivotal figure in jazz history. In the 1970s, jazz fusion emerged, blending jazz with rock, funk, and electronic music. This genre was characterized by electric instruments, complex time signatures, and extended improvisations. Bands like Weather Report, Return to Forever, Mahavishnu Orchestra pushed the boundaries of jazz into new, uncharted territories. Herbie Hancock, a former member of Miles Davis' band, was a key figure in the fusion movement. His album, Headhunters, incorporated funk rhythms and electronic keyboards, creating a new, exciting sound. Hancock's willingness to experiment and embrace new technologies kept him at the forefront of jazz innovation. Today, jazz is a global phenomenon, with musicians all over the world contributing to its rich tapestry. Contemporary jazz incorporates elements from various genres, including hip-hop, Latin, and classical music. Artists like Esperanza Spalding, Kamasi Washington, and Snarky Puppy are leading the way, bringing jazz to new audiences and keeping the genre fresh and relevant. Kamasi Washington's album, The Epic, brought jazz back into the spotlight with its blend of traditional jazz, classical, and hip-hop influences. Washington's powerful saxophone playing and grand cinematic compositions have garnered critical acclaim and introduced a new generation to the wonders of jazz. One fascinating aspect of Jazz is a complex and diverse musical genre, with its definition and boundaries often shaped by external influences. Improvisation and collective creativity are at the heart of jazz, driving its continuous evolution and innovation. Jazz musicians often create new music together on the spot, which requires a deep level of communication and understanding. This process can be seen in the case study of the four musicians.
With us today, the Mark Guiliana Jazz Quartet. You guys have a new record out. It's actually coming out on Friday, a couple days from now. It's called Jersey. We're really excited to hear some songs from that record today. So why don't you take it away, and we'll talk about the music a little bit later.
Jazz is an art form that thrives on innovation and collaboration. From its humble beginnings in New Orleans to its global presence today, jazz has continually evolved, reflecting the creativity and individuality of its performers. Its rich history is filled with legendary musicians who have paved the boundaries of what is possible, inspiring generations of artists and listeners alike. Next time you hear a jazz tune, remember the incredible journey it represents, a journey of invention, expression, and endless possibility. Keep swinging and keep exploring the wonderful world of jazz.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.